they just keep it simple on that fairy tale level. It's a video game world. We don't have elaborate backstories and politics.
Not everything needs to be explained.
Hi, I'm Luke.
And I'm Becca, and we're talking about movies like we know stuff.
Hey friends, welcome back. We just saw Super Mario Brothers 2, basically, or the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And we're here to tell you if we think it's worth it, pretty much. So I'm going to let Luke give a quick synopsis of the plot, and then we'll just get into it.
Yeah, so a spoiler-free synopsis of the plot is that Bowser Jr. is back, and he is looking to free his father so that they can rule the galaxy. And they need to do that by capturing a princess called Rosalina. So if you've ever played the Super Mario Galaxy games, then you'll know who that is. And there's a lot of really cool references and things like that in this movie, and
Easter eggs
we're excited
galore.
to get into it. So we'll start off with a spoiler-free review of the movie, and then we'll let you know when the spoilers are coming, and you can click away if that is something that you're not interested in. So let's get into it. Becca, talk about some spoiler-free thoughts you had about the movie.
Yeah. So, similar to the first one, you know, not super deep.
Nope.
Not super complicated.
No, it is a children's movie.
It's a children's movie and a movie for adults who played the games.
Yes, for sure.
Which is our generation
yes.
and up.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd say, you know, it doesn't pretend to be anything other than it is. It's fun, it's colorful, the animation is beautiful, the environments are interesting. For me, it just got the job done.
Yes.
It was fun, and that's what I expected. I expected it to be fun and colorful and entertaining. And that's pretty much what I got.
Yeah, I agree. This movie, I expected it to be fun, and that's exactly what it was. It's a kid's movie for sure, but it still fits very much the same bill as the original Super Mario movie. Not the original animated Super Mario.
Not like that horrendous live action one that gave me nightmares.
Exactly. But it's a very great sequel to the first animated Super Mario movie. Illumination did a great job on this movie. It looks just like an Illumination movie. So, you know, think Minions and Despicable Me and all that.
Bright colors,
slapstick humor, all that good stuff. It was really funny, really funny.
It's just a good time.
It really is. Made me happy inside.
I never was bored watching it.
No.
It was just a lovely way to spend some time. I think this is a movie that, again, will not drive you crazy if it's on repeat in the background for your children.
Yeah, just like the first one, it's an hour-and-a-half movie. It's very short.
Yeah, which is nice because it's not that children's movies have to be short, but I think it's nice to remember that stories can be told concisely.
They can.
Everything doesn't have to be a 2-hour movie.
Right. And I think this movie does a really good job of making the movie concise without revealing, like, major plot holes, in my opinion. I can't really think of any plot holes. I'm sure somebody could call out a plot hole in this movie, but...
Well, that's probably something I'm going to address more in the spoiler section. But I feel like what I appreciate about, especially this movie compared to the first, is they just keep it simple on that fairy tale level. It's a video game world. We don't have elaborate backstories and politics.
Not everything needs to be explained.
Everything doesn't need to be overly explained with some very sad gentrification backstory.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And they stay in their lane. This movie stays in its lane. A good, colorful, fun, entertaining lane.
Yes.
And it looks great. The music's great.
Oh, the music's fantastic.
Fun call-outs. Certainly, unfortunately, some call-outs that, like, I wouldn't understand because I'm not as well-versed in video games as you are.
Yeah.
But enough that it just gave me, like, dopamine hits of joy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Good call out on the animation and the music, though. I kept hearing the music, and one thing I can say spoiler-free is that this music does... Every single piece of music has a reference to a piece of video game music, but it wasn't like, we're just going to play the song. It was a symphonic reimagining of a lot of the music from the games, and that's a great way to do it, where you're not just playing the 8-bit soundtrack over the movie, but you're also paying homage to the original music and not ignoring it altogether and coming up with, like, oh, let's just throw the top 50 music hits of the last 5 years into this movie. You know, they actually used the original music as the soundtrack, which is awesome.
Right. I feel like they did put effort into that in a way I didn't expect.
Yeah.
And for reference, I didn't feel like the soundtrack was like walking through Super Mario Land in Epic Universe.
Yeah, right.
Which is, I think, what you would kind of expect.
Almost
it's
expect,
like,
yeah.
bleep bloopy loop.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Again and again.
Yeah.
It's actually like
really nice symphonic construction.
Beautiful symphonic music.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, somebody spent a lot of good time on it, and I respect them for it. I thought it was a fantastic movie.
Yeah, but I'd say honestly a decent amount of things I can say that are spoiler free.
Yeah, go ahead.
The environments are super unique in this one. I feel like whoever did the fight choreography and the chase scene choreography was working overtime.
Yeah,
They're all really clever, very interesting.
Fast-paced, entertaining.
I love like the casino that characters find themselves in where gravity doesn't matter and they're walking up the ceiling and they're walking on the chandelier. I feel like that was a little bit of a step up, honestly, from the first movie. I feel like they got more creative in the action.
Yeah, and again, part of the reason, you said I would understand a little bit more, those are levels in the Super Mario Galaxy game.
Okay.
So those were direct inspirations from levels that were in the original game. So it's
and that makes sense. That the game was bigger, so the movie in some ways got to be bigger.
Yeah,
it got to be more visually epic.
Yeah, there was more diversity for sure in the different areas that they were in.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, which is really cool. So.
And I feel like that, again, that plussed it up. And the only other thing I want to say is that, again, the cast is great. The cast is fine. I don't feel like anybody is really a standout except for Charlie Day. He is still the perfect Luigi. He really is.
Yeah.
I really, again, we're going to remember Chris Pratt and Mario as just the era of time where Chris Pratt was everything.
Yeah.
And I love him. I really do. This isn't like me dogging on Chris Pratt.
No.
But the only really standout vocal performance for me is still Charlie Day.
I think I would agree with that.
He does embody that character, I think, more than anybody else. Jack Black, he's also fine, but I think Luigi is my favorite vocal performance.
Yeah, he's one where I think the actor isn't, I don't know how to say this exactly. The actor doesn't get in the way of their performance in the sense that, like, when you hear Mario or you hear Bowser, you're like, oh, I hear the character, but they're also Jack Black and Chris Pratt. You can kind of hear them through it.
And as iconic as Charlie's voice is, I just don't feel like that pulls me away. It doesn't pull me out.
I would say that for most of the characters, and again, even Mario and Bowser, I still believe that those characters, that's the voice of those characters. It's not super distracting. It's a good casting, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But you can still hear those individuals through their character. So, whereas I feel like Charlie Day blends into Luigi much better.
Right. I do feel like if he was taller as like a human, he would be the like visualization. He would be the humanization of Luigi.
For sure. Yeah.
Just, erratic, helpful people pleaser. Fits the bill very well.
Yeah, nervous all the time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I will say also that I think there's a better balance of characters in this one. I understand in the first one how Luigi has to kind of be the damsel in distress in this one since they didn't want it to be Peach, which is fine. So Luigi didn't get as much screen time in the first movie. And
I liked more
in this
Luigi.
movie, there was significantly better balanced screen time between Mario, Luigi, and Peach. I think Toad might have gotten shafted a little bit in this one.
I don't love Toad that much.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think he was that important of a character. But he didn't get as much screen time in this one. And that was okay to me, but I think there's a much better balance between the main characters.
I agree.
Of screen time and performative action and major beats of the story. So I don't want to, there's a little bit of spoilers that I want to talk about in that instance, but I won't talk about it.
Just one last non-spoiler thing.
Yeah.
I feel like this version, like this movie was funnier.
I agree.
It was funnier than the first one. There were more jokes that I feel like were more for the adult stuff that they were inappropriate, but that dry humor, those cutaways, that I think they were funnier for us than for like the small children in the theater.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a more clever script.
I agree. And I appreciate that they didn't try to tie it to like the real world in the first one. Obviously they're trying to say how the Mario Brothers got started in like the game version of what we expect them to be.
Where did Mario come from?
Where did they come from? So there's like a human or quote unquote like real life element to it where they have to go. Whereas this one, there's none of that at all. They are in the game element the entire time, which was a bonus in my opinion.
Agreed.
Spent more time in the nostalgia factor.
It kept it more magical.
It did,
That's
for sure. So more of that for sure going forward. So.
Well, I think that wraps up everything non-spoiler we can say. So if you want to see this, and if you're a millennial, you should probably click off and go see it. But before you do that, like, comment, subscribe for more movie reviews. We always call out the spoilers, so you don't have to worry about watching it, as long as you know how to press stop, so.
Or click away, or pause, or any of those things.
Any of those buttons.
Alt F4 immediately.
We know how to press buttons.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll be right back with the spoilers. All right, welcome back. We're about ready to enter the spoiler territory for this movie. And so, Becca, why don't you kick us off with some spoiler thoughts on the movie?
Yeah. Okay, so spoiler-free thoughts. First, let's start with the cons. Not that I honestly have a lot. You might have more than me, just because you understand this universe more than I do.
Yeah.
But I'd say this isn't a con for the movie, but maybe a con for somebody like me that didn't really play the games past Super Mario Smash Brothers on the GameCube.
Okay. That's actually pretty far into it.
Well, despite that, there were definitely references and world building rules and magic that I didn't know, I didn't understand.
Sure.
And I don't think that would have taken away from the movie for me, but it helped that you were there to say, they travel through worlds using the stars. And that's this character. And it just wouldn't have meant as much to me. So I'm not saying that's a con to the movie. I think it's just pointing out that if you ended your journey in caring about this universe in like 2004, there's going to be things that will not give you nostalgia.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so the fact that you stopped with like the GameCube games, Rosalina is a Wii character.
Right.
So you had no idea who she was, and this was essentially your first interaction.
No, I had never played anything on the Wii.
Yeah, right.
So
right. So this was your first interaction with this character. You had no idea who this character was.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was fine. They do structure the movie in a way that we're kind of learning who Rosalina is, but she's kind of brought out of nowhere. Like, she's the opening character in the movie, basically.
Yeah, she's huge. Like, she's very important.
Yeah, she's very important, but she's like the opening character. So if you have never knew Rosalina was even a character, to start a Super Mario movie with, hey, there's this new character, and you're like, whoa, who's this?
Right.
Yeah. So I don't have too many cons, honestly. I don't really think I have any cons. I'm sure I'll think of something while we're talking here, but I thought the movie was overall well done. And again, I was kind of had my brain in turn off mode for just the entertainment value almost. So I wasn't like critically analyzing it like I would a more serious movie.
Yeah. Well, I think so. I really did stay away from other YouTube videos and reviews. I didn't read a lot about it. But I have heard some criticism that there's a little bit like too much in the movie, too many callouts, too many characters, that a lot happens and it's kind of underdeveloped. Now, I could see that to a degree, but also this is a sequel to the Super Mario movie.
Right.
How deep are we going to get? In my opinion, they're here to be fun and colorful.
Yes.
And bring in characters that we recognize from the games.
Yes.
And that's really their purpose. And I don't personally mind that they jammed a lot. They did.
They did.
So I guess you can say that's a possible con that might bother you, that might make you feel like you're getting whiplash for like this character, that character, this character. But really, I thought it was fine. I didn't think the call-out characters took away.
No. Yeah. I don't think so either.
Like the Star Fox character.
Yeah.
Like, he was fun and fine, and he wasn't annoying.
To me, that was a pro. I really like the fact that they're trying to blend their IPs together in a cinematic universe. Star Fox is it's one of my favorite all-time games from the Nintendo 64. I know I didn't play the Super Nintendo version of Star Fox, but I played the Star Fox 64 game. Gosh, I probably had to put over 100 hours into that game as a kid, and that's a lot for the Nintendo 64 days. I put hours upon hours. I know that game upside down, backwards, forwards. I know all the secrets to that game. That's one of the games that I really, truly know super well and know a lot about, and I really am passionate about that game. So I really have enjoyed in seeing Star Fox and the references that they made to Star Fox and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. I will say, what did you think about the lack of Donkey Kong? Because that was the spoiler thing I wanted to mention in the spoiler-free section, was for all the characters that are getting screen time, Donkey Kong makes zero appearance in this.
I didn't care at all.
I didn't care at all either. I wonder, was the Seth... I forget which Seth it is. What's the last name?
Rogen.
Is it Rogen? Seth Rogen?
Yeah.
I wonder if Seth Rogen got enough negative feedback about Seth Rogen that they removed.
He really took me out of his performance. He was just Seth Rogen in a Donkey Kong suit.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Seth Rogen that much. I mean, he's fine, but...
It's like a shame that the Donkey Kong universe didn't have any role, because the music for the world does bop.
The music for Donkey Kong is so good, yeah.
But there was so much in this movie, so many characters, so many environments, so many planets.
Yeah.
I was fine.
Yeah, I'd say adding Donkey Kong in would have just been even more overload for the amount of universes and references that we were making.
Yeah, like the sensory overload is on an 11.
Yeah, for sure.
On a scale of 1 out of 10.
Yeah, for sure. So what did you think about Bowser Jr. as a character? Because I have a couple things I can explain to you about him that I didn't tell you about in the movie.
Gosh, I know nothing about him.
Yeah.
He was just a little annoying kid. It's just the vibe I got.
Yeah, so Bowser Jr. obviously is Bowser's son. That's canon.
His weapon was very cool.
Yeah.
That like paintbrush of death.
The
Like that was
paintbrush.
pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's actually a recurring weapon for Bowser Jr. And I think that weapon makes its first appearance actually in the GameCube in Super Mario Sunshine, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I think. Don't quote me on that one, but because I didn't play a lot of the GameCube games. More of my little brother played those games. And actually, that's one thing I wanted to mention is that the nostalgia factor is so high in this, in the fact that like this movie was more probably my brother's era of video games, and so it made me a little like emotional for the fact that like simpler times whenever I used to like watch my brother play Super Mario Sunshine
And like help him.
or Super Mario Galaxies and just watch him play and learn on his own and all that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of nostalgia factor for this for me, and it made me really happy and maybe a little bit teary whenever I was watching those kinds of things. So it was really sweet. But Bowser Jr. character is pretty interesting to me. And actually, there's a whole family of Bowsers that you might not be aware of.
No.
So there's...
I didn't know Donkey Kong had a family either until we watched videos on YouTube.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So there's like 8 or 9 other Bowser, like baby Bowsers essentially, that are available, and they all do like they all have their like own certain personalities. Like one's insane, one's extremely tactical, one's very smart, you know. There's a bunch of different like styles.
They're like the 7 Dwarfs.
They're basically, like the 7 Dwarfs of Super Mario. That's a really good way to put it, actually. I didn't think about that.
They have one personality.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, they're very myopic in their personality trait. But it would be cool to see them in the future. And I kind of wanted to save this for the end of the review, but since it fits right here, I'm going to say it. They are building a fantastic universe for these movies. There is so much content and lore that they can put into these movies that they have an MCU level of content that they can pull from to make movies for this. Like you can have, we got Star Fox now. You can go back to Donkey Kong if you want to. You can go to Pikmin. You can go to Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
There is an enormous Metroid. You could go to Samus and Metroid. You could do all sorts of cool stuff. There's an enormous universe that they could absolutely put together with these movies, and I'm hoping that they do that.
Yeah.
Because these movies are just so entertaining. They're kids' movies, but they're short, they're sweet, they're candy, they're amazing, and I would love to see more from this universe.
Yeah.
So I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah.
So, sorry, that was me bullying the conversation for a little while. Please let me know what else you got on your mind.
No, it's fun to hear you get passionate about something from your own childhood.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I bogart these conversations.
No, that's okay. Yeah.
Totally fine.
What else you got, though? I'm curious what your other thoughts were.
I wanted to ask a couple questions. Is there any canon to like Bowser ever not being a bad guy? Because I thought that was an interesting twist. So now we're in the spoilers, we can talk about it. But
fine.
Bowser has almost out of nowhere kind of a change of heart where he decides that Mario and Luigi aren't so bad because they free him.
Yeah, right.
And then he seems like he changes his mind pretty quickly when he comes across his little evil son who wants to take over the world.
Yeah, right.
And then again, Bowser's like, oh, but, like maybe I'm the bad guy. Is there any canon to him having any development?
There are games where he is not as bad of a guy. Yeah, so there are a couple games where actually Mario, Luigi, and Bowser actually work together.
Yeah.
So there is opportunity for that to happen in the future, for sure. And it wouldn't be out of left field.
And I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. I was just like, oh, is this Hollywood doing what they do and taking over IP, or is this legit?
Yeah, right. I'm curious as to what they're going to do with Bowser in the future, because now he's Dry Bones Bowser.
I also wanted to ask, is that a character? Is that a version of him?
It's technically a version of him, yeah.
Okay.
There's a bunch of different versions of Bowser. There's like Mecha Bowser and Dry Bones Bowser. There's a bunch of different versions of him. And so I'm sure Shadow Bowser, I think, is another version of Bowser. So I'm not sure what they're going to do, because he's Dry Bones Bowser because his skin burned off in lava.
Yeah.
Which is really morbid to think about, but I wonder how they're going to undo that if they do that in the future.
I mean, it's a magical world where mushrooms are people, so I'm
true.
sure there's like a spell out there.
I'm sure. I'm just interested to see how they do it, how they explain it.
I also wanted to ask, is that correct lore for where Peach and Rosalina come from? Do they mention that they're like children of the stars?
Yeah, maybe someone in the comments can tell us, but I'm not aware of that being canon. But I could be very wrong about that.
I have to say that if it is canon, even if Hollywood just made it up, I'm really glad they just kept it simple. They kept it on the fairy tale level, where there wasn't a big tragic backstory with the whole like family we have to meet of like Princess Peach.
Yeah.
I like that they didn't go Frozen 2 on me with this tragic political warfare backstory.
Yeah.
They just kept it to, that's what I, like if I was playing the game, that's the backstory I would have expected to get.
Yeah.
So it makes me feel like, again, the people who made this movie, they understood the assignment. They understood the source material.
Yes. Agreed. Yeah. No, it's a great movie.
So
the last thing that I want to say is there's a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene, and the mid-credit scene was okay. It's what you would expect. Bowser and Bowser Jr. are in a jail cell, and they're trying to escape, and
it's funny.
The masochistic sprite from the first movie is their jailer, and so he makes another like funny masochistic joke, basically. But the post-credit scene was really cool because we get to see an appearance for Daisy, which is really exciting because there's not a lot of lore, as far as I'm aware, to Daisy's character. Typically, she's just the princess they made up for Luigi, which was a hilarious reference, by the way, in the movie. Or she's like an alternate skin color for like Peach in like Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
You know, she doesn't have a whole lot of backstory. She shows up in all like the party games. So she's in like Mario Golf, Mario Kart, Mario Tennis, Mario Party. She's
Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers. Yeah, she's in all of those movies, or all those. She's movies. My movies are on my brain. She's in all those games. But there's not a lot more to her. She doesn't have her own game.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of backstory to her. So I'll be curious as to what they do for her. But anyway, that's the last point I really wanted to make. But you have one more point you wanted to make?
Yeah, I just want to say, and again, I kind of already said this in spoiler free, but I like that this movie doesn't pretend to be anything other than what it is. It doesn't pretend to be this big, epic story with immense character development, and I like that. And I feel like that, for me, actually makes it a little stronger than the first movie.
Yeah, agreed.
Where the first movie, it's like this, they put in like the backstory for Mario. He's kind of finding his way. It's kind of his coming of age, and that's fine. They needed to do that to establish it.
Right.
But it also kind of made, at times, the movie feel a little more self-important than it was.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh, Mario's finding himself. And I'm like, in my world, Mario's just always been there.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And it was nice to come into a movie that they're just here.
They're just here, yeah.
They're just here. And there's no...
The movie definitely benefits from the origin movie that they set up in the first one.
That the experience of watching this movie, for me, feels much more like watching a really fun, long, like, cutscene.
Yeah.
As opposed to the first movie where I knew, like, oh, we need to talk about Mario's struggle to figuring out how to be brave.
Yeah,
and
right, yeah.
It's just hard not to come off as schmaltzy.
For sure. So, well, anyway, with that, we're going to wrap up. We're going to give the scores. So, Becca, why don't you go first? I already got mine in mind, so you're not going to sway me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd give it an 8.
You'd give it an 8?
I'd give it an 8.
Okay.
I think it's in some ways stronger than the first movie, even though I don't know if other people will agree. And it's funny, it's beautifully animated, and it's more true to the nostalgia of the games.
Yeah, right. So I definitely got the nostalgia goggles on, but the nostalgia, the music, the visualizations, and the fact that it built upon the previous movie, and there's an enormous potential for this to become a universal series. Universal. Pun unintended. I'm going to actually give it a 9.2. I think this was a fantastic movie.
9.2?
And nailed exactly what it needed to be. Yep. You're not going to sway me.
It's a specific decimal.
I know. I have reasons for it.
That you make up for every movie.
Make up. Yes, exactly. Yes. Don't question me.
Yeah.
But
well, the rules are made up and they don't matter.
The rules are made up and the score doesn't matter. So. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate your time. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps up our little channel. And don't forget to check out our last review, which was...
the Peaky Blinders movie on Netflix.
Yes, love that series. And we've got maybe not the review that you would expect out of that one. So you'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.
Bye.